Hey guys, I'm Sunnyveen, and in this video I'm gonna tell you exactly where to find the rare white and black butterflies and how to fill up those 2 dye jars the quickest. First off, the white dye. You can find white dye in the Daylight Prairie, Hidden Forest, Valley of Triumph and the Wind Paths. At most locations there's only a 5% chance of white dye spawning. If you want to collect the most white dye in the shortest amount of time, visit these locations each hour. Prairie Peaks is the #1 best spot to find white dye, with a 15% spawn rate. In the Valley Citadel and Temple you can also find a bit more white dye than in other places. All the other areas only have a tiny bit of white dye, so I'd recommend doing those runs if you're also looking for more of these colors. Alright, then the black dye. You can find black dye in Golden Wasteland, Vault of Knowledge, Eye of Eden and the Wind Paths. Just like the white dye, there's only a 5% chance of black dye spawning at most locations. But if you want to collect the most black dye in the shortest amount of time, visit these locations each hour. The Eye of Eden is by far the best spot to farm black dye, with the first area having a 15% spawn rate and the second area is even at 20%. All the other areas also only have a tiny bit of black dye, so if you want to run through those areas, I'd recommend it if you're also looking for these colors. Alright, 2 things you need to consider. The Colored Darkness plants locations change every hour. This makes it easier to collect dye, as you can visit the same area multiple times a day to keep collecting the same dye color there. But there are limitations as to how much dye you can collect every day. You can only get 4 jars each for these 3 colors and 3 jars each for these 3 colors. But white and black butterflies can only give you 1 full jar every day. That means if you reach the limit, you will have to wait until reset before you can go collecting more dye. In my experience, I only have to visit Eden 2 to 4 times to collect a full jar of black dye. My guess is you have to visit Prairie Peaks around 3 to 5 times to reach that full jar of white dye. But it all depends on when you're visiting the areas and what plants are there at that hour. There is no set rotation for locations and the size of the plants, it's completely randomized. An extra tip from a fellow candle runner: if you're candle running and you end up in a server where people have already burned all the Colored Darkness plants, collect any solo black or white butterflies you can find while candle running, because all those single butterflies still add up. The easiest way is big calling, so you can just keep running, but don't do it when people have just finished burning the plants. Don't steal the butterflies right in front of their noses, that's just rude. So let's end with a quick recap. If your main focus is white dye, visit Prairie Peaks about 3 to 5 times to get 1 full jar. Bonus areas are the Valley Citadel and Temple for if you're really in a hurry. And if your main focus is black dye, visit both areas in Eye of Eden about 2 to 4 times until you got 1 full jar. Here's a list of other areas where you can also find a tiny bit of white dye. And here's a list of other areas where you can find a tiny bit of black dye. And my last tip to you is to join the official Sky Discord and read the season's events chat. There are multiple people keeping track of the black and white plants, reporting where you can find the most or least each hour, so you know exactly when it's worth your time doing a dye run in those specific areas or not. I also sometimes post updates about the black dye in Eye of Eden in that chat, so I might see you there. Hopefully this video was helpful to you. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!